Oh my God, she did. And that was... This is my little cousin, like I said, and I feel like, you know what, you tell the people what you feel like our experience was and how we started and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
How was this position created, and how did you go about specific tasks and roles?
So a lot of the business things that I learned during my journey was done by trial and error. There was no one to actually teach me, this is who you need to hire first, this is the position. I just knew I got to a place where I was doing all the things and I was overwhelmed and I needed help. This was my cousin who always just helped me, okay? I could always call her for her to help me with some administrative stuff, with some social media stuff. She was always willing. And I said to her, like, are you willing to help me a little bit more? Like, we could create a role for you. I don't even know exactly what the role is gonna be called. You're just gonna be my assistant. And she did everything. She did all the things. So the need was there, she was there, and we just combined the two. And I felt like as we went through the time, listen, we just made up tasks. Stuff like, you know, greeting our customers and our clients, checking them in, checking them out, handling my schedule, answering the phone, dealing with clients that came in with inquiries. And then it started transitioning into the social media stuff as it became more popular. She would help me with creating captions, posts, putting research stuff for me, you know. It was a lot of stuff. She wore a lot of hats just as I wore hats. So while I worked with my clients, she eased up my time and my space for her to be able to do that. And it just grew. And whatever was needed, listen, she understood the assignment.
How were you able to evaluate their performance?
I came up with this concept of just having a conversation monthly with her to test the temperature of the room. We just developed this thing where we were able to talk to each other. I feel like because we had a good relationship as cousins, it wasn't hard for me to conversate with her on the business side. And the fact that she respected my business, and when she came in, I didn't really have to address issues of like, why are you late? Why are you not doing the task? Why are you, like, I didn't really have to, you know, address issues of her taking advantage of things, because a lot of things I knew when it happened, okay? Like, I wasn't preempting like, oh, this is gonna happen, and put things in place. So we just developed this thing monthly. We would sit down and we would brainstorm. We would put a plan together. We would talk about like what worked, what didn't work. We would give each other feedback, and I just felt like I was very forthcoming with like, feedback was a thing that I've always done. Like, I love transparency, and I just feel like if something showed up that made me have to address it, I did it right away. So that was our process.
When the time came, how did you transition into parting ways?
So that's a funny question, because I still don't feel like we parted ways, okay? I still feel like I could depend on her if I need her help, and she's still showing up for me in so many ways. COVID happened, and we were in here and we just got a notification that we had to shut down our business by a specific date, and no one knew what was happening, and no one knew what to expect, and it just was what it was. And we just had a conversation around like, we're going home and we'll see what happens. I also knew I wasn't going to be able to offer her a salary while we were at home, because I make money based off of the services that I offer. And at that time in 2020, being shut down really like shut down all of my business. That was pretty much the end of it. And I think after the first month of being home, she reached out and she said, hey, I got, a teacher's position, and I think I'm going to go for it. And I wish her luck, because guess what? These bills gotta get paid. So that was actually how we transitioned out. So when I came back into the salon in September of that year, after being home for 5 months, she did not return with me, and I had to go through the process of trying to find someone else to fill that position. So again, my experience with working with my cousin was really a pleasant one for me. We were able to tackle our challenges and work through a lot of things. I'm not gonna say it was like smooth sailing, peaches in here every day, but pretty much it was like great overall. I feel like we communicated well enough, and the fact that she already possessed the character of someone with respect and someone who didn't want to take advantage of the fact that, oh, we're family, and treated everything as a business, that really helped us as well. Also, with me going through that journey, I felt like, oh, now that I need to hire someone else, I was placed into a position where I decided to take on another family friend. Now, this person wasn't like blood related, but they were a family friend. And I figured, hey, same difference. And I felt like if I was transparent with that person as far as like what was needed for the role, and we came to an agreement that everything was going to be good. Little did I know that was a totally different experience for me. So I do remember particularly this family friend calling me and saying that, you know, hey, this is my situation and I really need a job. If there's anyone that you know that's hiring, or if you yourself, you know, need someone, I'm able to do this, and this is how I could contribute to the business. So at first I was like, I don't really know anyone, or I'm not really feeling like there was anything fitted in the salon at the time for that person. But then I thought about it and I was like, all right, well, this person really needs help based off of what they told me. So I decided to like create a position for this person. So I do remember us coming together and having a very intense, very descriptive interview. And I swear it was like 2 or 3 hours. We sat with each other and I put everything on the table as far as like, this is what I need. This is where you could fill in. This is what I need and my expectations are from you. And are you capable and able to do that? And the agreement was like, yes, I can, and I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna try, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna grow together. It started off pretty fine. Maybe 2 or 3 months into it, I noticed that this person was really slacking off. So now I'm tapping into the feedback place of like, okay, what's happening with you? Why are these expectations not being met? Is there a place that you need me to support you in? Like, you know, what's happening? And initially I was met with reasons, and then I'm like, okay, well, you know, if this is happening with you and you need to put things in place, that's what you need to do, because we really need to conduct ourselves in our agreements. And then I noticed like I would have to keep being on top of this person, keep being on top of this person. Now here I started like extending myself way over what I normally would. And I feel like for me doing that, I reinforced a situation where that person realized like, oh, you gave me an inch, I could take, you know, a feet. And we worked together for probably about a year. And within that whole year, it was a constant, every month, feedback. Why are you not doing what you're agreed to do? And I just felt like I was becoming a mom in that situation of like being on top of this person and they're just not following through. So I think by the time November, December was rolling around, I decided to have like a very serious conversation with this individual and be like, listen, if this is not working for you and if you cannot keep up to your end of the bargain, because I feel like I am, and it's unfair to me and it's causing me stress, like, we need to decide if we're gonna part ways. But I really, really, really need you to show up. And this person was like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna show up. We could do this. And I decided to give that person the chance. So what happened? The new year rolled around and I realized it was the same thing. And then I'm like having to adjust again with the conversation of like, what's going on? Why are you not following through? What's up with this whole situation? And then I was met with a betrayal, which really hurt. And I feel like I'm going to do a story time on this to go deeper into like what happened. Yeah, let me know if you guys want this story time. But it just concluded with I've had enough. You're not keeping your word and we have to part ways. So I had that conversation with this individual. And I'll just give you a little sneak peek, okay? When I did confront this individual and had this conversation, this individual decided to call all the clients that I and her had built within the salon and let them know that they are no longer going to be in the salon and that she's trying to find a place and you guys should follow me. So I randomly got a call right after the conversation I had with this young lady. Yes, she was a female. From a client saying that, hey, this young lady called me and she was like, she's no longer going to be there. So can I cancel my appointment for tomorrow? So I'm like very confused, like, why would you cancel your appointment? So she was like, well, I'm used to her doing my hair. So wherever she goes, then I think I'll just have her do it. So I'm not in the business with arguing with clients. I'm always that type of person, like, it's your choice. I just don't like the confusion part of it. So I gave her my apologies and I wished her luck. And that made me really upset. So I called that individual up and I, confronted her about, what was happening. And she just felt like, she was right and appropriate in her decision and how she was moving. So she decided, hey, she needed to act quickly. And within the time of her making that call, she actually had access into the salon, came in, took all her things, and left. So that concluded our relationship. So it was a total different experience with that. But what both of those situations made me realize in the end was actually just have things in place to protect myself and that person and to always try to keep things on the professional side. I'll just end on this note. Every experience is not the same in business, okay? I know in my case, there have been lots of trial and error. I had been too lenient because of my prior experience, and that's what I took from that situation, right? But overall, working with friends and family is never wrong. I think the key to success is to have boundaries and to communicate openly. And that creates a different dynamic for the rest of the time that you're working together. Once I set the boundaries, which was what I learned, I'm learning that I'm moving with more ease. I think I'm gonna do a story time. But if you guys have like any questions, you could always put it in the comments and I'll see you in the next video.